Morning, land of YouTube. This is Donnie Caustic. Yesterday, intensely bringing the light. Almost can't even see my face now. Oh, I gotta turn around and walk backwards. How about that? A quote from Alice in Wonderland and a Janis Joplin song, The White Knight Walking Backwards. What? Okay, so stupidity all aside, we got another accelerator drink here. This one's cherry limeade. I haven't had this flavor. The other one was really, really good. So like a report on it would be that they work. The name accelerator makes me want to go into a topic that I don't know how many people are very aware of. So there's a CERN Large Hadron Particle Collider that is in Switzerland. I'm pretty sure it's Switzerland. It's Voltaire, either it's France or Switzerland. And I'm trying to rack my brain because I haven't looked it up in a long, long time. But yeah, there's like a town called Fernley-Voltaire, and it's right like in that general vicinity. And for some reason I'm like, oh, it's in France. Oh, it's in Switzerland, whatever. So there is a particle collider that is changing the nature of existence as we know it by how we perceive things on a small level. And with that, I think, it's coinciding with a major consciousness shift out here on a large level. Everybody has been focused on so many different things at so many different times during the last few years relating to trauma. And with that in mind, I see an opportunity, maybe for humanity as a whole, to really, not only just share all that trauma, but be focused on the same thing at the same time. And with that in mind, literally in mind, and in everyone's mind at the same time, it's a little hard to follow, but everyone's tuned into the same thing. So for a massive paradigm shift to take place, that's all it means. Like, it's got to be over 51%. So like a critical mass has to be tuned into the same thing, and then this reality around us literally changes. And that's a scary topic for most people that don't want to accept their role as a creator. So I take a deep breath. I inhale the past. I exhale the future in a really big way of active meditation in every moment of staying present. And I look at some topics that everyone is or is not ready for. Maybe especially in the circle of my friends that are receiving these videos from me, or maybe, I'm just blasting them to all my, current surroundings. And the information that I wish to relay is very real. And then that's also true for my reality. The things I have and concepts in my mind are applicable to my current reality within myself and my understanding of the nature of reality. And I've done a hell of a lot of studying, not bragging, but I have done a lot of studying and self-work that brought me to this point. I could sound like a complete kook job. because it's, you know, it's a concept that's so far out there to somebody else that's normal. And I say normal with disdain because no one really knows what normal is, and normal is the same to everybody else. So you can look at it as like a double-edged sword. I'm just gonna keep going with some topics that may or may not be what you need to hear right now. So back to the, you know, the whole paradigm shift aspect. It's like a box around you, and that box is your paradigm, and it is your reality. It's your limitations. It's all these self-imposed physical limitations. I believe that there's externally self-imposed limitations, or ones that we submit to, like everyday traffic laws, or, you know, like don't hold the phone to your head. I came from a generation to where cell phones were just coming out, and there was bumper stickers that said put up the phone and drive, because, you know, I think too many people were not responsible enough, and they were distracted, and then you get everybody as a whole, and then you get accidents. And they're like, let's try to solve this with a law, because most of the time, you know, the fucking idiot driving around is losing his shit because he can't handle what he's got going on in his life, and then he gets on the phone while he's driving, and then he's losing his shit, and then bam, smashes into the back of somebody. And it's like, okay, now does everyone as a whole need to suffer because of that one fucking idiot, or all of those one fucking idiots combined? I don't think so. I think there should be a subsection of highly intelligent individuals that really kind of get to do whatever they want, as in not harming others or humanity as a whole. So if we have an ultimate goal of good, doing our part in uniting the fucking globe, uniting humanity for global good and kindness and love and light. That's a good statement, because my intentions are to do that, to unite humanity for humanity's sake in a message of love and light. And like, I like to say a sea of light. And then I'm like, do you speak light language? And you're like, what the fuck is this guy on? This guy has got to be on some drugs. And I tell you, well, in a minute I will be. This is caffeine. It's, I'm off. Oh shit. So, you know, I take the lesser of all evils, caffeine. It is an accelerant, and for me it works. Just enough in the morning. By the time it's bedtime, oh man, that shit's dropping out of my system fast, and I crash out. Sleep like a baby. But, so, paradigm related topics, and the nature of our psyche, and, you know, the way that we really walk around with a power without knowing it is like this, you know. Subconscious mind, that's a special part of our brain. It's a part that's subconscious. We don't have access to. We don't know. It's our subconscious. That part of our brain collects everybody information. Everything. Every single thing. Background, not. Bird chirping, not. Cars on the road, not. You know, fake. Real. And our subconscious mind physically sees everything real. So, at night when you go to sleep and you've rationally made decisions during your day and you have some weird dreams and they weren't really applicable to anything, but if you dream journal and you look back, some of these fears, basically fears irrationally, will manifest in your subconscious dreaming when you're waking during REM sleep. You get the rapid eye movement, and right when you're waking, in that millisecond, like fraction of a second, you have this vivid dream that could have taken like, I don't know, half hour, but it's right there in that one little fraction of a second. And that's your brain processing through some of those things that are completely irrational, because in your active mind, you've made decisions that, well, there's no way this can be. And that brings me to the nature of slowing down time. Our perception is always warped. I see experiences like that, moments like that, as in that the concept of time in the structure that we perceive it is really kind of inapplicable in every area. You could be hurrying and never get there on time. And if you go through life like that, you're probably always hurrying and never on time. And it could go in waves. You could be waiting one day because you're early and seem like it takes for fucking ever. And time's just standing still and you're watching every fucking second pass. And it's literally our perception of time. So, is time real? Question. Maybe question everything. Too much shit too fast sometimes, people. So, I'm gonna do another deep breath. And it's an attempt at every moment to reinvent myself, as in I'm walking forward in this path. And in a weird way, it feels as if I'm walking forward into a past version, like I'm remembering my future as a past. That also stems from another really deep psyche tool. That statement is so profound in a way that, oh man, if everybody just knew that all of creation was finished when it started, and then you had access to your subconscious with tools and practice, and not just meditation, but there's some other fun things. I could suggest one of them. I've done this, I think when I first became aware of this, I practiced it, and then I started observing some cool things happen in my life. And observation is everything, right? So if you're really at the 12-minute mark here and you've watched all the way through, this is a good tidbit of information you may or may not know about. You go to sleep at night when you're laying down. Remember your day backwards as best you can. Practice that. And if you have a visual memory, it may get to a point where it looks like a movie in reverse, like fast forward backwards. And I say that correlating to that comment earlier about remembering your future as a past and like going forward in reverse type of idea, because that's actually a really powerful psyche tool to directly influence your subconscious later on during your waking hours. And that leads directly to manifestation qualities. So, there are so many things that I don't take for granted, but so many things that make up what I am as an individual walking around. Lots of information, lots of very powerful mind tools that I have crammed into my head. I'm grateful. I am so privileged to walk around with the level of consciousness that I have. I mean, it's an attainment that everyone can receive if they're open to it. So I like to coin the term again, and it's not a new term, it's sober-minded. Sober-minded individuals have open minds. If you have a closed-off mind, you're not gonna get shit I said. You're gonna hear whatever you wanna hear, and you're probably gonna think I'm a fucking crack job. I get really deep really fast because, you know, I think I'm just like full volume and I'm skipping some steps that are really inherently irresponsible to skip if I don't point them out at some point. So maybe I'm just trying to grab some attention with real information, and then I'm going to deliver how you get there. Cool, right? Like a blast of chaos theory at first. And then this string theory comes in with all these connections. And then here's the tools and how you get there. So you're interested. Some reason, you don't know why, something I said stood out. And then maybe there's some really useful information coming on a method of application in your life. I could only hope that all of humanity decides to join me in this quest for a new frontier in consciousness. We all need it. I mean, as a whole, our fucking subconscious mind was overpopulated with this shadow aspect from our psyches collectively projecting all this garbage into fucking reality. And we've just gone through the gamma of it. Like, we've gone through fucking one trauma after the other. Collectively, we do that. I mean, everybody runs around with a different level of power. a lot of people are not aware that they are creators. And I'm going to assure you that you have a special power and a special role in this. And I'm going to assure you, if you've listened to this point in this video, that, you know, I don't know what exactly you would need on a one-to-one level unless I actually had you on a one-to-one level. I could tune into you, I could focus, and I could deliver maybe like a next step. And I see it like this. There's a, yeah, we're all in the same boat together. That's funny. That's true. We're all in the same boat together, right? This capsizing sea of consciousness that everybody's thrust into, blah, blah, blah. But what I really see more than ever, importantly, and it could be like a metaphor, like a stairway to heaven, or, you know, this spiraling out of control Fibonacci pattern, which is all throughout nature and life and existence, and in sound, and you can look at a seashell and the way it's formed, and it's a spiraling out of control situation that brings me to, you know, the fabric of reality. Or like I read a book one time by oh, I forget his first name, Green, and it's The Fabric of the Cosmos. I just passed that bleep on the ground. I shared about that in another video, and it's funny because it's relating to the same kind of, yeah, I think it was a string theory video. What the bleep do we know? Look it up. In any case, I didn't write that shit on the ground. So there's others that are also on different levels of consciousness, and some of them are very, very bright individuals. Some are on their way. Some are normal and interested. I don't want to scare anybody away, and I don't have that intention. And I don't think I'm getting that effect. I think maybe people that don't really deserve certain information, they're not going to receive it. Maybe not in this lifetime. Maybe later on. Who knows? I would like to present challenges left and right, because if I'm challenging everyone, then that's a growth process. And a lot of times growth is painful, especially if it comes to a point to where we have to think. And if we have to think for ourselves and we no longer can rely on someone else thinking for us, that's probably the most painful fucking aspect of all of it. And I'm not saying that everybody's not thinking, but in a way, everybody's not thinking. Like, no one's thinking of these topics that are actively, you know, I mean, maybe, I can't say no one. I know that there's individuals that think like me, and I know that we're spread out, and I know that we're infecting this humanity with, you know, a different language, so to speak. And that different language is really self-exploration. It's like a physical, active, living language that takes hold of consciousness and transforms the mind in a direct measure to infect humanity for good, light, and love on a large scale, on a small scale. Some of us are way more powerful than others. I've met a few. I've had some really beautiful conversations over the last, I would say right around 2 weeks now. More than a handful of deep conversations in person. And those are valuable to me because, for one, the person was receptive. For two, I don't get to talk like that always. I mean, it's like if you were the only person that knew French and you're in a fucking sea of Americans and you don't get to speak French. Wouldn't that suck? You're like talking French to yourself in the mirror. You try to call home, nobody picks up. And you can't speak French. And then you find somebody randomly that speaks French. And you're like, oui, parlez-vous français? Yeah, I speak French, right? And then, oh shit, like, I walked up to, on the foreign language subject, some Hindis, and I didn't realize, because I'm half deaf, I didn't realize that they were speaking Hindi. And I went, I was like, ¿Qué pasó, amigos? ¿Cómo se dice del sol y mi encante está tu amor in inglés. And they were like, what the fuck did he say? And they were like, yeah, we don't speak Spanish. I was like, oops. I was at a pizza parlor. My friend invited on Facebook, he said, come hang out with me and have some pizza and have a beer. And I was like, well, I'll go have some pizza. I'm not gonna have a beer, motherfucker. For me, I gotta be sober. I just know my body is a finely tuned instrument and I can't have any external substances in it, shy of caffeine. I even steer clear of sugar. And that brings me to another topic. Yesterday I had a 70% cocoa bar. I posted it on my Facebook channel. And it was chili and cherry, like Mexicali. Really good chocolate. Oh my God, it was tasty. Really, really good. But, you know, in the absence of sugar or anything sweet, in the last like 2 weeks straight, I haven't had any sugar other than natural plant sugar from vegetables or fruit juice. Nothing like, you know, added sugar or high fructose corn syrup. I've just removed all that from my diet and I feel a hell of a lot better, way more healthy, much more energy. So I have this chocolate bar and the fucking shit almost puts me to sleep, which was the exact opposite of what I thought was gonna happen. I thought I was gonna get like an energy boost. Hell no, that shit grounded me. Like, I was vibrating differently and I was aware of that. And then somebody else hears this video and they're like, this motherfucker's talking about how he's vibrating. And does that make me a vibrator? Oh, no, that's why ladies love me. I'm just joking, I'm just joking. I mean, I gotta throw some comedy in, otherwise it can get boring real quick. Oh, so what I aim to do in my mission statement is run around, have fun, spice up people's life a little, maybe deliver some tools like remember your day backwards when you go to sleep. Do that for a while until it gets easy. At first it's gonna suck, but stay committed. Then what I would like for everyone to do is dream journal, and then at a 1 month mark, look back and read your dreams and just see how they correlate in your life. And then I would like people to start looking inward and look for their part in all of these things that they don't like happening in their life that are external or directly related to their choices. And as you do that, take note. Maybe write it down in that same journal. And then, as you move along in this progressive journey, you can look back a month or two later and you can reread your own writing. And I would be willing to wager that there has been a transformative process, even in the like a 90-day window, that your mind is a different mind. And that you are no longer thinking the same way you were 90 days ago. And that you are now more aware or more self-aware than you were. And then there are some manifestation techniques that you can dive into. And, you know, active meditation in all different forms, even a walk, looking at textures. I observe while I'm walking on this video, I observe the texture of the road below me, and I'm like picking out each different little rock. So it's all kind of in the background now for me. That's not like bragging, but there's some things that I automatically do that I tend to overlook. Almost, you could say as in taking for granted some of these tools that I've collected along the way to basically make up my nature of understanding the universe around me. And I recommend a book by Deepak Chopra. It's titled You Are the Universe. Cool, right? I think it's Norman Green. Norman Green, The Fabric of the Cosmos. That's another one that's really good. And then, you know, people are sometimes not really aware of other individuals. And there are other individuals like Alan Watts that he has a very brilliant nature of how he describes things. I have a chaotic mess that comes out, and then I'm like, oh, hold on, let's do a one-on-one. I can do it at a large level as long as I stay focused on a topic. But then also my presentations would have to be for people that are looking for a certain amount of information, so I could focus on that level of information. Right now I'm just putting YouTube videos out to random fucking people that know me or know a past version of me, because I'm nothing like what people knew. I've had very radical, rapid transformative process over the last, I would say 4 to 5 years. There's been stages of heavy duty transformation in my life. And that could look scary to some people. But like, I don't want to upset my life. I like my life the way it is. Cool. That's for you, not for me. My life has been restructured, and I would not have it any other way. And I love every minute of this life, and everything is beautiful. And I look for the beautiful. That's why everything is beautiful. I could possibly wallow in self-pity and fear and agony and doubt, and I could go through life like a normal person. Most people do that, and then they don't share it, they hold on to it. I say, fuck that shit, be real, let it out, transform humanity from the inside out. Well, if you're with me to this mark, and you're curious about maybe manifesting a new life for yourself, or even, you know, dumbly, you could say manifesting objects or items, you could start with something like that, and then it'll transform your reality into a place of manifesting your new direction. Like, some people feel powerless in life. They feel as if they're just out here struggling to survive. They've been a warrior and a survivor their whole life. They found something that works, and they're content with that because they found a way to swim. And I introduced you to the ocean. I'm like, listen, you can try to swim in the ocean and you can make it, right? Some people are drowning. Some people have a canoe, and that canoe is okay, and they keep getting knocked out of the boat and have to get back in. Then some people have the canoe where they're like completely sealed in it, and they have an oxygen tank to where even if they get rolled, they're fine. That's cool, right? Some people have the canoe with power. It's got a little electric motor, and they don't even have to do any paddling, they just steer. Then some people have like a jet ski, and they're on the ocean and they're having fun versus surviving. They're out there just playing. And then some people have, you know, a similar item that would be a bigger jet ski, and they're pulling the people playing because they're doing a job. Then you have the people with the boat, and then you have the bigger boats. Then you have these barges that are transporting shit across the oceans. And then I look at the ocean in general, and I look at the carnivorous aspect of the ocean and all the life blooming out of it, and then it's consuming everything back. The ocean is made up of life and death, just like our realities, just like our earth. Life and death all around us. The ground decays and it blooms forth new life because of life decaying into the ground. It's fertilizer, right? So what I'm doing is I'm fertilizing thought. And if you're lucky enough, I say that every single time because I'm going to re-emphasize it. If you're lucky enough to hear these things and then somehow identify with them, and or you're on a different level and you want to get at me, do that. Because I like to bounce my brain off of people that can understand what the fuck I'm saying. So this concept is not a new concept. It's like an ancient ideology. It's real. It's not just a concept. It's a real application in somebody's life if they want to take the measures to go all the way. And then your life is new. You transform your life from inside out. You renew your mind from inside out. You renew your spirit from inside out. And then your whole reality transforms around you to mirror that which is within. So So if you're walking in light and love, then your fucking whole world is light and love. And that's truth, people. Truth, truth, truth. 30-minute mark, I gotta go. I love you. Be good, land of YouTube. I'm gonna see if I can edit this thing, put some color in, maybe some background music. I don't know. I've just found a new tool on my phone that I've already had to occupy my mind on my morning walk. I do a 7-mile walk every morning. It's healthy. It's getting my body back into shape from years of laziness and depression. And so I don't want everybody to think I haven't gone through some shit. If I dive into that topic, that's a whole, I could go through 3, 4, oh, probably more, 20-minute videos, 30-minute videos, just related to, you know, the trauma that I have been through in my life to get me here. So, I'm not gonna do that. I want everybody to go outside with a smile today, if you've watched this. Hopefully it's made you smile, not confused. And just light up the world. The world needs love. Peace, land of YouTube.